This is Top Shop Podcast.
Shop Podcast.
Top Shop Podcast.
Podcast for automotive service business owners by Paul Donahue.
All right. Hey, Top Shop Podcast listeners. Mike Kildare, Automotive Repair in the beautiful state of Nebraska, Columbus. So welcome to the show, Mike. Look forward to getting hopefully some good advice for other shop owners. So tell me how you got here. So you now own your own shop, and congratulations. So how did you get here?
The progression for me just ended up being I wanted to change of pace.
Okay.
My last employment, I managed a towing and repair shop,
Oh,
and
totally.
then I co-owned a repair shop that was inside of that towing business. But the towing, for as much fun as it was when I was single and in my 20s, when you get to your 30s and you're married, and the time was a big thing. Now, don't get me wrong, owning your own shop takes up a lot of time, but not as much as getting called out at 2 o'clock in the morning does.
Right. Yep. So how did you get into auto repair? I mean, is this just something that you had a penchant for when you were a kid, or how did you actually get into the auto repair industry and progress all the way to a shop owner?
As a kid, I always liked tearing stuff apart, and I was told curiosity kills the cat.
Right.
So it just kind of progressed for me. It just progressed from there. I mean, I tried a couple other different things. I tried doing construction, stuff like that, but
Right.
none of it ever really stuck. I just kept floating back to cars.
Yep. Okay.
And then as the years went on, the opening my own shop just ended up being a luck of the draw. And I always thought about it. And then a realtor called me up and said, "Hey, I've got this building. What do you think about opening your own shop?" And I went, "Hell, let's go for it."
Awesome. Awesome. So what was the building? Had it been a repair shop before?
It was, but it sat abandoned for 10 years before I went back,
Wow,
before I
10
opened it.
years. Wow.
And then we moved to our new location in January of 24.
Okay. The location that you're in now. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So what do you think as far as hire? So you started the shop, you need techs. That's one of the big topics anywhere I go is the tech shortage. Do you have any advice for how you've found, hired, and retained your technicians?
The advice that I've got for it is, I've ran into a little bit of the hiring issue, but luckily enough, I really have not.
Okay.
Like I said, in Columbus, I've people know me around here from I grew up in this town, and so a lot of them just kind of migrated towards me.
Okay.
Um, the one thing that I've learned in, all the shops that I've worked at and the service managers I've had and the bosses I've had is I've picked up a lot of good things from them, but I've also seen some things that I didn't like. And so I just worked on creating to fix that.
Okay.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I push my guys very hard, but I believe in the pay and the environment is what will retain them.
Oh, the pay and the environment, the culture. Yeah. So
Yeah, yeah, shop.
sure. So let's go to culture because that's a really important. I believe that's a really important topic. What do you? How do you feel you maintain a good culture in your shop?
One of the big things is I stay involved. I mean, I'm not in the back anymore, turning the wrenches or running the front desk as an advisor as much as I was 2 years ago or a
Hmm.
year. Um, but even like myself, I stay up here and, I've got my own office and I'm making sure that the tickets are flowing correctly and parts are being done correctly. I do all that stuff, but at least once an hour I get up and I go walk through, ask each guy, how's everything going? You need any help on anything?
Okay.
And I mean, I keep them up to date on what I'm doing. Like, I don't say we want to change a process. Like, I just introduced job request forms. Since we live here in the Rust Belt, you get to some of these. We'll just use a wheel bearing, for example. The service advisor and myself didn't tear it apart to diagnose the vehicle. This form will request be like, "Hey, I could use an extra half hour because I have to do a lot of cleaning because of this rust." Well, I introduce it to them, but every week we have a shop lunch I buy lunch for the whole shop at least once a week. And every time we do one of these, if I'm introducing something, I present it, I get their feedback, we adjust things, and we just progress it too. I leave them in control of things too.
Okay. So yeah, so that's a common thing that I hear consistently is shops will close down once a week or once every other week or whatever and have a lunch together with the team. And then you don't say, hey, we're going to do it this way. You introduce things, you talk with them so they feel like they're a part of the process, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they are a part of the
I
process.
mean, and that's
Yeah. You
yeah. I mean, I was there too.
right. Yeah. Yeah. So that's a good way to build culture that I don't think I've heard that a lot. So you have new ideas or new systems or new processes. You have a lunch, you introduce it, and you get everybody's input on it, and that's so everybody feels like, hey, I'm really involved, and the owner wants my opinion and values my advice on this particular process that you want to or thinking about implementing. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it goes down to since they're the ones that have to do it, my technicians, my advisors, they're the ones that have to do it. They should have an opinion on how it should be done. I'm not going to go in there and just bark at them.
Right, yeah. So, and then, is there, in starting the shop, because you started the shop from scratch, there was a shop there that had been there for 10 years. What would you say has been your biggest struggle in getting the shop started? I mean, there's a lot of struggles with getting a new business started, but what do you think, your biggest, challenge has been?
That is a very interesting question. I would have to say getting the workflow through the door to begin with.
Okay,
I mean, like I said, the shop that I was in was an abandoned building for 10 years. And then all of a sudden I opened the door and, my first, but of course I picked January in Nebraska, which was not probably the greatest of times because I think
right,
I opened the doors and the next day we got like a foot and a half of snow.
right, okay. You weren't too busy on the
So,
first
I
day.
mean, yeah, that first couple weeks was one car a day, two cars a day.
Wow.
And, you wonder if you made a lot of mistakes in that process.
Yeah.
Um, but, lo and behold, it took off really fast. By 6 months, I needed another technician. By the end of the second year, I was up to myself and two other technicians and I wouldn't call her a service advisor, but she kind of just answered phones and helped set appointments just so that I could keep working instead of answering the phone every 10 minutes.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
And then, yeah, we've just progressed from there. Now we're running two service advisors, four technicians, myself.
So, so what major changes have you seen in the last 5 or 10 years with the auto repair industry?
Oh, that's a long list.
Well,
I mean,
what do you just think that the biggest ones are like in the last 5 and 10 years? And then how do you think that shops have had to change with those major trends in the last 5 to 10 years to, really keep up?
one of the big things, don't get me wrong, now everybody blames this, but COVID was a huge eye opener to everything.
Okay.
Um, Mainly just because of the way that we ran the shop, that I ran the shop, where I worked, um, just didn't work anymore.
Okay.
Giving away free diagnostics, giving yourself away just to make scraps at the end of it,
Hmm.
just doesn't work. When these new cars, the technology in these cars advances so fast that the equipment we need, you can't just give that time away anymore.
Right. Yeah.
And that's a big, and now I'm in a rural area, so a lot of people still expect it, but you build the value in what you do, and the customers will understand it.
Hmm.
So I'd say, you know, the equipment was a big thing, and then changing your customers or talking with your customers, not changing your customers, talking with your customers and building the value of what we do.
Okay.
That was a huge thing.
Yep. So just spoke with somebody yesterday on that where that's a major important aspect and core value of their shop is they want to be sure that the customer is client communication, customer, communicating with the customer, they
Yeah.
understand and feel comfortable with what's being done, and they take a little bit of extra time, and it pays off. You look at the reviews and everything. And this is important because as a shop owner that recently discovered Vision. And by the way, any listener here, if you don't know, it's Vision KC, I think it's .org. Vision is the largest, most comprehensive trade show for auto repair shop owners in the nation. SEMA is SEMA. SEMA is a circus. It's got, everything. This is the largest show. I'm at SEMA every year too. This is the largest show in North America for auto repair shop owners. So vendors, and then the training classes are second to none. So, as someone who went from discovering training, you would be able to answer this question really well. What role do you believe now that training and ongoing education play in a shop's long-term success?
Oh, that it is huge. It's even, you look at myself, 20 years, 22 years I've been doing this. And I've been in this industry. There's stuff out there that is unknown. Every circumstance is different. I mean, so staying up to date, whether it's the technician learning the technology, the owner learning how to prepare himself and prepare his business, the advisor learning how to communicate better. There's so much out there. Anybody that says that they know everything, in my opinion, is lying to themselves.
Right. Yeah.
Because not learning is a death sentence to me. So I want to listen and learn as much as I can.
So do
And
you
then
do you shut your shop down and take it to Vision, or do you just go yourself?
so the last 2 years I shut it down and took everybody to Vision.
Okay.
Um After last year with having four technicians and advisors, it just became such a circus,
Right.
and our phones would not stop ringing. So this year I split the shop.
Okay.
I'm taking two techs and an advisor and myself, and the next year I'll take the other two
That's
techs,
good.
the advisor.
Good advice. Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be a little bit more simplistic because I mean, you look at the big picture, shutting it down, just money wise, hotel, training, food, stuff like that. It was around $10,000 to take the six of us down there.
Right. Yeah.
Now, the guys that got to fly in, I mean, you got airfare added to, and that's not taking loss of revenue and stuff into accountability there too.
Right. Right. But
So it seemed like a more feasible thing, especially now. Like a lot of my a shop is younger guys. We all range from 40 to down to 21.
okay.
So like myself, I've got a 9-month-old daughter. One of my guys has got a 8-month-old son.
Okay.
One guy's getting married in April. And then my one of my other guys, he's got three sons. Another guy's got two daughters. I mean, we all got families, and trying to pull everybody away from their family every year to make family time, it just doesn't work.
Yeah. No, no, you've come up with a really, really good idea. You're able to keep the shop open, keep revenues flowing while you're there, and you just switch up the staff that you take every other year.
Yep.
That sounds like an awesome, awesome plan. You did touch on something. You have a 9-month-old, and so that's one of the questions I always like to ask a shop owner, because we can get buried in work pretty easy. We could easily work 16 hours a day. The to-do list is never ending. So work-life balance is like really important. So do you have any tips for the work-life balance
I,
thing or?
I'll give better tips when I've actually got it under control.
Okay.
Um, One of the big things, so for me, like we're open 8 to 5.
Okay.
Um, I
Like
decided,
5 days? 5 days?
yeah, we're 5 days a week.
Okay.
I decided about 3 months ago that I was going to work from 9 to 6. Now I bring my daughter because we live outside of town. I bring my daughter to town for daycare and I take her home.
Okay.
So I have to make sure I have her picked up
Right.
from one of the grandmas and get her home for bedtime and all that stuff. But one of the things that I have been working on is spending more time with her in the morning because I don't get to spend the time in the evening with her.
Okay. Yeah. She's asleep.
So I'm slowly trying to balance out everything.
Sounds like you're coming up with a plan. And don't worry if you get too out of a balance. If you got a wife, she'll bring you back into balance.
Yeah, she informs me.
Right? They usually do.
Yeah, because like tonight
Yeah.
I'll be late tonight, so she got to come to town to get her. She already told me that I'm only allowed to do this once a week.
Okay. So, hey, any tips on you get a new customer in, obviously you want that customer to come back to your shop again and again. Any tips on how you um maintain client retention?
So one of the things that we are progressively working on is the experience.
Okay.
It's a huge thing, and I'm always looking and listening for new ideas too. But like right now, I have my CRM program. 2 days after the repair is completed, they get a text messaging I wrote up asking how everything was, make sure their car is working good, everything's good with them, and then at I've got it set up so my service advisors at 5 to 8 days after the repair, they call them and ask them how everything went. And it's either I do it, one of my we all take turns doing it, but we're working on staying up to date on our first, especially our first time customers and our second time customers.
Hmm.
Um, Making sure that everything went smoothly and stuff like that.
Okay.
So
So,
it's a big part is just staying in contact with them.
right, yeah. That's vitally important. And now we've got a lot of good CRMs and technologies that will are basically electronic salespeople for shop owners.
Oh
And
yeah, it's
you're running the shop and taking care of things, you've got messages going out to customers that haven't been in 6 months and other kind of things. So it's a really good way to bring in another source of revenues is utilizing and leveraging automations. And we have a lot of automations that shops aren't utilizing that they should be. So
oh yeah.
um,
I mean, the CRM program was a game changer.
yeah. Which CRM are you using?
I just went off of Steer to the Tech Metric program, Tech Marketing.
Okay, tech metric. Okay, okay.
Yeah, and we like when we use Detect Auto, the DVI our DVI systems, and our customers, they transparency. This is what they love from us.
So so
Because I've even had customers that the industry has had a bad rep for a lot of years.
sure. Yep.
I've taken a picture of an oil leak and I show it to Mrs. Jones and Mr. Jones comes in and goes, "Do you know what car did you take a picture of that off of? Because that wasn't my car." And I will take them back there, raise their car, and I will stand under it and talk with him underneath the car so that he could see everything that I'm seeing.
Yep.
Sometimes now I have to remind myself, and I tell my customers to remind me too, is when I'm talking, to remind me that they're not mechanics, that they're accountants, they're doctors, they're factory workers. They don't
Right.
know the stuff like they don't know the business like I do or how the terminology like I do.
Hmm.
And then I remind them, I said, if I'm speaking too fast or a little bit, stop me and question me. I tell them that all the time just because I want them to understand and be comfortable with what I am explaining.
Okay.
Especially nowadays with, I mean, we've all seen repair orders come through that are 8, 10, $15,000.
Sure.
I want them to be comfortable spending, 5 grand with me.
Yeah. So are you using DVIs in your shop right now?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. We have multiple setups on DVIs,
Okay.
multiple setups for the Detect Auto.
And the DVIs, was that a game changer for you guys? A lot of shops say it was. It really helped bring
Oh,
in the revenues because people can see, yeah, yeah, they can see it,
yeah. I
instead
mean,
of
that
trying
was
to
the big thing
explain
is
it.
I could
Yeah.
walk up and tell you, hey, your brakes are thin.
Right,
And I'd
right.
be like, oh, okay. But
But
if I show them a picture and be like,
yeah,
hey, and I got both of my service advisors have those measuring sticks, and we'll be like, hey, your brakes are supposed to be at 8 millimeters, and they'll show them the 8 millimeters. In this picture, it's at the 2 millimeter mark, and they'll show them the 2 millimeter mark, and it brings the reality to it.
right. And that has helped. You did see an increase in your sales after you started utilizing the images, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Every shop I've talked to, that's the
it was a huge thing.
yeah, yeah. So how about this? How about a major setback? What did you have any major setbacks since you started your shop? And then what would be you think the biggest one and how'd you overcome it?
I mean, I wouldn't go as far as major setbacks. I mean, we've had the one technician I had a while back, and he messed up a motor.
Mm,
The pardon my language, but shit happens
right.
scenarios.
Yep.
Um, I mean, that's probably be my majorest setbacks
Okay.
was those kind of scenarios. I mean, we always have setbacks of trying to get more equipment in and get better equipment and stuff like that, but trying to figure out how to finance everything.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I mean, we still are a growing shop and a learning shop, and
Yep. Speaking of that, how about a fun question? What do you like most about running your own auto repair shop?
freedom.
Freedom. Yeah.
And I mean, now, yeah, like I said, I get to come in at 9 o'clock, but I stay till 6. In the middle of the day, if I got to run and go do something for my daughter's got a doctor's appointment, I could just tell my advisor, be like, hey, I'm going to dip out for an hour, and I can just go do it.
Yeah.
But now I also bring that same freedom to my guys too, and I explain to them, I'm like, hey, if you need something, you come to me and you tell me, and I will push to make it happen. One of my guys a little while back had a little bit of a family emergency. He come running out to the parking lot, said, I gotta go. And I looked at him and I went, okay, see you later. I went inside, I looked at my advisor, said, what was Bobby working on? And I just jumped in with where he was and went from there.
Awesome. So, I know this is just conjecture, Mike, but where do you think the industry is going in the next 10 or 20 years?
The next 10 to 20 years, I think there's going to be a hard turn that the industry is going to have to make. Um, with the technology and stuff like that, we're going to go away from being, mechanics and turning wrenches. We're going to be electricians, basically. So a big part of that is all these young kids that are coming up that want to do this is my opinion, and I struggle with it myself, is trying to find the right training for them.
Okay.
So you could build that guy that could change oil and change tires into that rock star that can do it all.
Right. Yeah. So I think the big change, happened actually a while back. I mean, that went from auto mechanics to technicians is all the computerization that's in everything today. So,
I
so
think I
hey,
think it's going to get worse, in my opinion.
yeah, yep, I agree. Yeah. So we could have a change in battery technology where battery cars are actually ecologically friendly, not disasters that they are now. We could figure out how to move hydrogen, and because all the infrastructure is there, we just got to figure out how to move it without blowing everything up. uh, hybrids have, once again, doubled or tripled oil reserves because now we're getting a lot more mileage out of the cars that we got. So I hear different things. The thing I hear the most is the is hybrid,
Oh,
probably more and more.
I'm a firm believer that hybrid is the future.
Yeah, and more and more hybrid cars because all it's going to do is just really just increase the amount of fuel mileage that cars are getting, and it's really going
Yep.
to. Are we always going to love our big twin turbocharged V8s? Yes.
And and that's a big thing. Is like, I think hybrids are the way of the future. I'm really gonna have a problem getting rid of my Silverado.
Yep, there you go. I hear you. All right. Hey, Mike, one last question. If you
Yeah,
were a new shop owner is getting ready to open his shop or he just opened it, he comes to you and he says, Mike, what one piece of advice would you give me that I absolutely have to do that's going to help me succeed in my shop? What would you tell him?
honesty. Just be open with your customers, and your customers will follow you.
Yeah, common sense, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, common sense, that's the thing that's disappearing really fast in
Right,
this
yeah,
world.
yeah. Who said that? Common sense is not common, right? Yeah, I
Yeah.
forgot who said that. It's a famous quote. Yeah, common sense is
Yeah.
not common, but yeah, but that is that is a great answer. So, Mike, I
Yeah.
really want to thank you for taking your time out of your
No.
busy shop to be on the show. I will see you at Vision, so I'll be on the trade show floor. Be sure to stop by. I'll give you a copy of my book. If you don't
Yeah.
have one, I'll give you a free copy of the book. I'll bring plenty of them with me, and I'll be seeing you what next month, right?
Yeah, here in about 3 weeks. Well, dead at a month. I will be arriving Wednesday the 4th of
Okay.
March.
Yeah, I think
So
that's what
dead
I
at a
can.
month.
Yeah, perfect.
For additional automotive resources and exclusive content, follow us on Spotify and subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch all our episodes. Thanks again for joining us in the driver's seat, and we'll see you next time for another thrilling episode of Top Shop.